Great Stories, Uxbridge, Mass.
I'll open it. Hey, look who's here! We got a camera guy today, huh?
What's up, guys?
What's up, Tiberius? Are you going right, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Hey guys, we got Tiberius, we got Grim, and we got Chris, the owner of Great Stories.
How's it going, everyone?
Good, good. So Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about the new layout and new things and how you're opening, how we're handling COVID and all that type of stuff.
Sure. Well, as you know, we were all surprised. The whole world was surprised by COVID, and but we decided to make good use of our time in the downtime when we didn't have anybody in the shop. So we've remodeled some things a little bit. We've kind of reconfigured. We've restocked. We've expanded some selections, which is kind of cool.
Yes, that's what you did. Yeah, it's a lot better than interesting. Yeah.
So things have been changed around. Keep a fresh look, and I don't know. Hopefully, we look a lot different to people who are coming in, who were with us before, and the people who are coming in for the first time, post phase 3, will be able to kind of enjoy what we've got. So,
That's awesome.
Anyway,
Come
here
on,
we
buddy,
have
show the door.
the comics. You see that the new release section is kind of thin right now. We're actually waiting for our DC books to come in. Because
That's because Marvel's better. I mean,
DC is under new distribution rules now.
Yeah,
So
well, all the Diamond
no
stuff
Diamond.
stopped. Right, Diamond stopped. DC had to pick it back up, so
Exactly.
that's why his shelf's there. But if you look at his
Exactly.
back issues,
Back
he is
issues.
fully stocked.
Completely. And we've got old classic Golden and Silver Age books adorning the higher points of the walls.
oh, you
as
got a
we,
Transformer one too. Woo!
we have our spinner rack, which actually features some dollar books at the top, but then also some kid selection. So all the kid-friendly stuff is right here.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so you bring in the little ones and they can peruse this.
Yeah, Tiberius, you know you want the My Little Pony.
One of the things that we did actually during the downtime was to actually organize our back stock of Magic cards. People, didn't want to go through random boxes to find the stuff they wanted. So we took a lot of time to actually create binders for all our commons and uncommons for all the sets going back all the way since pretty much we opened for the first time 5 years ago.
And that little
That is
spot in the
awesome.
door.
So that's a thing, and then the overflow goes into these boxes right here. So it's very easy to find the stuff you're looking for.
Right.
We actually have rare binders behind the counter for all these sets as well.
Cool. That's awesome.
We've got our graphic novel selection. We've got
He's
all our...
actually got some manga too, guys.
We have manga as well.
Yeah,
That's
little
right.
manga section.
That's
That
right.
out.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Our comic care stuff is actually now in the racks that are between the back stock of comics as well. So bags and boards, you'll find those all around the shop. As we wind around here, wind past our DC section, we have some. This is kind of cool, actually. This is one of the changes we made. We actually decided to reconfigure this bookcase and create bagged collections. So for those of you who really are comic collectors, you're not really into, there we go, Tiberius.
Tiberius, put your hand down. That's not logical.
So,
It's illogical.
It's illogical.
those of you who don't like the graphic novels, but you actually want the individual issues, we actually sell bagged collections of full story arcs or complete series. And you'll find these right here. And you'll get DC, Marvel, Indies, all of the above. So more comic care stuff. We have our Star Wars comics and also some of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some of the more like pop culture fare, Transformers, G.I. Joe. We
That's
moved.
the good section.
Yeah,
That is a good
that's
section. That's a good section.
section.
Everyone likes that section. And of course, since we have Star Wars comics, we decided to move our Star Wars Legion, Armada, and X-Wing section right over here. So
Merchandising,
Star Wars miniatures.
merchandising.
That's right.
Location.
So do you
location.
guys run Star Wars tournaments on any of these games?
We do. We actually have a very active Legion following. And we do have people come in and play Armada and X-Wing kind of like more casually. But we have probably the greatest selection of terrain for the Star Wars miniature games that you'll find in the area. At least that's what I've been told. Well, I'm glad that Hank came in to visit for a game so he can answer the phone for me. Thank you so much. All right. Anyway, because this interview would not go so well otherwise. We actually are, now we're doing Consignment Corner. So Great Stories Consignment Corner is something that you can find on Facebook. And we decided to actually have a physical representation of it here in the shop. So the idea is that for those of you out there who have stuff that you want to sell because you really want, you don't have the money to like put into a new game or something like that, but you got a lot of old stuff you're not really using, you can come in here and actually put that stuff on sale. Hopefully you find a home for it and then get paid for it. So that is the idea here. So like, all this stuff is actually games that people are selling. There's an assortment of consignment and games that we're blowing out on clearance in this area. And my trap worked on Tiberius apparently. So
Elf doesn't have his grace today apparently.
Then we've got wow, this section just got totally mauled. But we actually brought in more miniatures than we've ever had before. We actually have D&D is a huge one there. We've got settlers. So we have a ton of miniature for that selection of D&D products. We've got player character type of miniatures here. The monsters are on the other side. You know, all the textbooks that you could want for Dungeons and Dragons, and a lot of other bells and whistles as well. We even have a smattering of other RPG games as well. As we move along, actually, you'll see that you might have seen it, a little brief glimpse of it, but we do hobby challenges. And the hobby challenge that we're running right now was actually the hobby challenge that we were running before COVID hit, was for Blood Bowl. And
I like that game.
We were gearing up for like a big event. We were going to have a tournament here in the shop. Obviously, COVID had other plans for us, but we had the hobby challenge that was actually kind of tied into that. And so we have a very creative guy named Ted who actually puts our displays together, and then eventually people bring in their own hobby challenge models, such as this one right here. They place them on the field, and then eventually we'll have a big vote as to see who's got the best model, and we give away all sorts of stuff with those hobby challenges. As of right now, this particular hobby challenge has been extended until the first week of August, so that's a lot of fun. There are still models available to actually pick up if you want to enter the challenge yourself. And yeah, it's only $5 to get in, and yeah, like I said, it's a lot of fun. And so we'll move along here. What we have here is pretty much our historical miniature section. So Bolt Action is probably the biggest, probably the most recognizable of all the historical miniature games. Warlord Games is the company behind it. We have a pretty good following. Actually, Thursday nights is, under normal circumstances, is our historical miniature night. But we do have a host of other miniature games that are history related. So like Test of Honor would be like a samurai one. We have Cruel Seas, which is a naval. There's even stuff like Colonial. So British Infantry Regiment here, since we just celebrated the 4th of July and our independence. And
Wings of Glory, which was one of the first ones that actually started.
Wings of Glory, exactly. Yeah. Moving along, we've got some LCG games. So people who like the idea of Magic, but not the you know, having to constantly put money into it to keep up with all the better players. You've got the LCG games, which are basically one set of cards. Everybody gets the same stuff, and a lot of fun, and also you know, good for tight confines too. If you have a small scale game that you need to run. So then we've got our board game selection. Board games, well actually we got miniature games kind of interspersed in here. We got some Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff, which I happen to know that, yes, Tiberius is a big fan of this, and may even be walking away with some of this stuff later on.
Yes, sir.
But our board games, we used to have a very lively board game group that would come in. The idea of it would be that people would pick out a game that's on the shelf. If there were 5 people maybe, they just split up the cost of the game, open it up, play it here, and then at the end of the night, as many games as they can fit in, by the way, they roll a 20-sided die, and the winner of the die roll wins the game, gets to take it home.
Yes,
and everybody else who really wants a copy gets 10% off.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of a neat thing.
Now,
And,
in the COVID situation that we're in now, I think we're in phase 3.
Yes.
How does gameplay go for you as a store? Are you still retail only? Are you going to start opening up for certain games where you can sit a certain distance? How's that working?
So this week actually was a kickoff of our first time that we've been able to host people again. So what we've done is we're limited in space based upon the square footage in the establishment. So we have a 16-person limit in the shop.
Okay.
We have the 2 rooms. So what we do is we keep at our counter. People can call during our store hours and reserve a spot and reserve a slot for either a table in our miniature room, which you'll see later, or right here in the main room, if they're doing card games and or board games. So, or even D&D. So that stuff is available. We can actually host you again. It's just, like I said, it's not like it was before where we're going to jam-pack everybody.
Right.
But these tables, for instance, last night we had an FNM event, an unofficial FNM event, but we actually sat people at alternating sets of seats. So we left one set of chairs in between the players. And it all worked out perfectly. Everybody had a good time.
How is the Friday nights of Magic at the Gathering working out? Have you been starting to do that with the Planeswalkers again?
Well, yes, we have. So, last night was the first time in months that we've been able to host an event. Wizards of the Coast had to call an audible. Apparently, they decided to suspend in-store gameplay again for official events. Does not prohibit stores from actually running an event themselves, but they just can't do things like give out the FNM promos. They can't. It's not officially judged. There are certain factors involved there that you cannot offer for services because it's not sanctioned. But we didn't want to go back on our word of being able to host some kind of event for the crowd. So we did that last night, and so we had a nice small group of people in here.
Excellent.
And they
So
had a good
for
time.
you noobs out there, F&M stands for Friday Night Magic.
Yes, we actually had a couple guys show up, really nice gentlemen, and they thought it was Friday Night Modern because apparently their local store that's what they do, you know.
Right.
So FNM's at stores all across the state and the country. They all have like a different thing that they do for their FNMs. For us, it's draft. That's
Okay.
what we do.
Draft.
Now that could change in the future, but if you're looking for information, just give me a call.
Okay.
And
Yep.
what's the gaming community like here in the store?
The gaming community that we have in the store is, I would say, casual competitive. So what you're going to find is you're going to have a lot of people who are really more interested in the social aspect. They're not here to like slam you in the face and basically and call you names. And we don't encourage that kind of stuff. That's frowned upon here. We tend to be a more gregarious store. So people tend to be very friendly. They just want to, make a relationship, that type of thing, and make friendships. And that doesn't mean playing games. Obviously, there's a competitive nature to it,
Absolutely.
but it's the primary focus is really on the experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things that I like when I look at a game store is when I'm going to play, if I'm new at a game, I don't want someone to beat me up. I want someone to actually tell me, oh, why don't you try moving
Teach you.
here? It doesn't matter if he loses
Yeah.
or we lose. We learn to play a little bit. We get to be a new friend, those types of things. And,
That's right.
and
That's
I
right.
actually played 2 games here now,
Yep.
and I got that experience. So it's,
That's what we
That's
aim
off.
for, and so
Yeah.
that's a credit to our community, by the way. I mean, even though I can say, whatever it is that I can say to other people, about what I want, but ultimately, the crowd is going to determine that, right? And they really have just basically caused us to foster this wonderful community that's around us.
Excellent.
And that's on an individual level.
excellent.
Yep.
So, next thing you have here, well, we've got, like I said, the board games. We actually added this section. We kind of expanded the board game selection.
Look at that guy I made there.
Yeah. So we now
I had that
repurposed the ledges. Actually, are for like pop culture products. So a lot of the pop vinyls and stuff. I decided to take a lot of stuff out of storage that I had before, and there's even some consignment interspersed in here. So. And as you can see above, that we've got a TV, and we've actually installed 2 more TVs, which are going to be, they're not properly hooked up yet, but these corner TVs that you see are going to be game clocks during tournaments, They're going to be used for advertising, so we'll have multiple purposes for these things. I might even have
Shop talk on it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe our YouTube channel will be on there.
Yeah.
and
The
stuff,
YouTube channel. Yeah.
We'll be utilizing them properly.
Pop culture.
Anyway, under normal circumstances, as you can see here, we have plenty of seating for our card game players, our board game players. We have seating for roughly about 30 people.
And nice sturdy chairs.
So pretty good. And yes, actually, one of the things that we did was we upgraded our chairs during COVID. So these things are very sturdy and nice and comfortable. So
Yeah, they're not the
hopefully
folding
Yeah,
plastics.
no more folding plastics. So right here we have our new expanded GW section. So prior, we only had our GW, both AOS and 40K type stuff right here in this section. We've now exploded it out to double the room, double the space. Prior to this, Star Wars Legion was here, and that got moved over. So we aim to have all the Star collecting boxes in stock now. Of course, that's GW dependent, and right now they're on back order with a lot of models. So they're doing their best to come back from the COVID action as well. We carry lots of paints, so
Yes, you have a very huge selection of paints.
So the Citadels, obviously the contrast paints are a big hit with a lot of the hobbyists. We carry Vallejo. You see almost a full rack right now. We carry Reaper down below here. And then we even have the surface primers for Vallejo up here. And then also for your hobbying needs, we do all the different tools that you could possibly need or want. We have basing materials, so people who like to get ultra creative, not just do paint their miniatures, but like to do fancy things with their bases, like tufts of grass and things like that, and rocks. We've got all that material for you as well. So
I'll have to
that's
say,
kinda
I have switched from Citadel since they got bought out by GM.
fun. Yep.
I'm all Vallejo except for the contrast paints.
Okay.
I have switched to Vallejo. I actually
Yeah.
like their paints. It blends a lot better for me when I'm trying to do a blend between two colors. It absolutely does really fabulous job.
That's awesome.
But I do like the Citadel contrast paints.
Yeah, they're very popular. I know that. I think a friend of mine told me it's like skill in a bottle, or was that the technical
it's
paints?
magic in the bottle.
Yeah,
Magic
exactly.
in the
So-
bottle.
It is.
So there you go.
I was working on
Yep.
a saber tank and I spilled my black
Yep.
contrast. And it was like tears in my eyes.
Ah. That's unfortunate. All right, coming into this room right here, this is where all the miniature gaming happens. So right now we kind of have things haven't really relaunched yet, and obviously we just started kicking this off. I think only one game has been played in here since we reopened for gaming. I know it's going to change today. We have a game that's happening today, but this table right here is set up for the purposes of displaying a sci-fi Warhammer 40K terrain. Now we have tons of terrain options. We actually have a terrain wall, which we'll get to in a moment, but maybe Tiberius wants to kind of give a preview. But basically all our terrain is spread out on this far wall over here, and you can basically choose any terrain you want and put it on the table.
I like how you're integrating some the toys from back in the day, or they.
Oh yeah, that's yes. So, yeah,
We'll show
do.
those. We'll show those.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
don't
yeah,
jump. I don't want to jump ahead.
We'll get to that. Over here we have I'm sorry, chairs out of place, and we got some posters here that need a home. But we have we host a game called Arena Rex.
Amazing
typically.
game.
And this is the Coliseum. This is kind of like our prime piece for that game. Not everybody gets to play on this because we have several people coming in, and there's always 2 lucky people that get to have their game inside the Coliseum, which is pretty awesome.
As long as there's no
This
lions.
Coliseum is awesome. I really love it.
Yeah.
It really is, and
It's a great game.
It's a little the dirty little secret is it's actually a play school set that was refinished. So we actually painted it with it's like a coarse kind of paint So it really gives the feel and the look of actual stone.
Rough stone, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course we added an audience here, which is really cool, and that's I believe from a Warlord game. If I'm
So
not
what's up
incorrect.
with the banner? Is that the part people won, or?
Well, the banners, so SPQR is a Warlord game. That's it kind of fits the theme of Arena Rex. But we try to like adorn the room with a little bit of flavor, because otherwise it'd just be brick and wooden walls.
Yeah.
So we are trying our best to kind of add some flavor to the place. We actually even have like right here, we have some of our Hobby Challenge pictures, some other displays that have been set up over time, which is cool. This one was my favorite. It was a Halloween Hobby Challenge.
Oh, I remember that one.
With pumpkin patch, and every miniature that was entered in had to have a pumpkin theme to it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Somehow.
That's awesome.
So that was really cool. Here you have like we have all our game mats, and again the terrain wall kind of just stretches on here. I mean, you've got an incredible amount of stuff that you can use, and of course what Tiberius was pointing out was that we actually do use Star Wars toys from the vintage times as like set pieces.
It looks like
basically.
you painted them a little bit though.
Some probably have been painted
Added
for
like a
battle
little bit
damage
of,
and stuff like
adding
that.
a little rust look to
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
exactly.
that vintage.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got to do that, right?
Absolutely.
But we have a lot of fun with it.
And
right
I-
here. Oh,
yep.
Go ahead.
And
Were
I
you
do
gonna
like
say something?
I like the pictures on like certain places. Like this is the reenactment, and you have like Normandy, and
Yes.
like it goes with the flavor of what is usually played. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
So we have it in this particular day. We have a bolt action scene set up. So World War II. It's a village in Europe somewhere, and you would see armies battling it out here for an objective. So moving along, we've got right here is our Age of Sigmar set, and you'll notice the surface here. We've got these things are beautiful. The tiles are like literally, it's not just a game mat. It's they're actual like
that's awesome.
high quality resin tiles, and this is really just awesome. It's got that 3-dimensional effect that you like to have. So that adds a lot of depth to the game.
Absolutely.
And then finally, the last table we have set up right now is for Star Wars Legion. So this table right here it's going to be used actually in the next few minutes. There are a couple gentlemen outside who are going to be coming in here and putting their Imperial and Rebel forces juxtaposed against each other, which will be kind of fun. We have a TV, by the way, for we basically just might throw some like music up there from YouTube. Maybe it'll be the Star Wars theme today, actually, to kind of enhance the mood.
Add
Enhance the
flavor to
effect.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. Or it could even just be like a movie or even some sports being played.
Yep.
So we try to provide some creature comforts. Actually, one of the creature comforts that we added was cup holders. We have cup holders now for so we don't have table fouls anymore.
That's
Because
awesome.
I was guilty of table fouls left and right. Terrible. I know. I own a shop and I would put my drink on the table.
And it would fall.
Bad news. So now we've got the cup holders here for you. Just one of the little things that we did in the downtime.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're all around.
We're climate controlled, of course. We've got the ACs are going. It's nice and comfortable in here. And so we'll move along now to the.
What are the miniature games that you do play here? At a lot of the miniature games that are currently being played in this area.
So right now we have a pretty good crowd for Age of Sigmar. 40K, obviously there's a new box called Indominus as the 9th edition is getting launched, and that's coming out this coming week. And so that's obviously drawing a lot of the AOS players into the 40K
Right.
realm. We do have some 40K players, but I think it's going to be a lot more now.
So Age of Sigmar, I mean, it's an older game. We had a lot of following, then it kind of
Yes.
dropped off, and then it kind of came back. Why do you think it kind of came back strong?
I wish I could. I mean, I would say it's probably more about rule sets. As they revise rules, it kind of triggers new interest.
Right.
Because you have people who are into certain game styles.
Yep.
A lot of people don't like change.
Yeah.
So it's like if you change something they like, that might cause some people to get out of a game. Then, in this case, we're seeing kind of a dawn of a new era for 40K. 40K rules compared to AOS rules just months prior, a lot more complicated.
Right.
A lot of the AOS players did not really take well to the 40K rules when they were trying to learn the game. So the 9th edition seems to hold the promise of actually simplifying a lot of those rule sets and making it a little bit more attractive.
Awesome.
And more accessible. So, anyway, I'm going to move behind the counter here and join my my friend and compatriot. Okay. Here, and pardon the mess, we were just opening some boxes, pre-release boxes for singles. But basically, we have a host of Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon product, as well as a smattering of a few other games. But you'll see our Yu-Gi-Oh selections, Pokemon stretches down here. You've got a lot of bundles and structured decks. We have tons of Magic product right here in the case. We go back years in terms of the products that we offer. We actually make it a point to try to keep a very wide breadth of options for people, because we know that there's various formats that Magic players enjoy.
Now, are they still making the earlier versions of it, or do you have to go kind of source it from other places and buy it yourself?
So we have to source it. Typically we're paying what the public would pay for stuff that's out of print.
Right.
But we'll mark it up a little bit. So we make less money on that stuff, but at the same time we feel it's important to just offer it.
Right.
Because it's just something that Magic the Gathering in particular has so many different formats, and there's so many different styles that people play. And the person that plays modern Magic does not necessarily play standard or draft or commander or something. So there's so many different options there.
I mean,
we want to be able to have the product for them.
That's a huge, for gamers out there, that's huge, right?
Especially Planeswalkers.
For Magic players and stuff like that, that's absolutely huge.
And so that's, we try our best there in that regard. Pretty soon you're going to see we haven't finished it yet, but the lower part of this case is actually going to be repurposed for store armies for a lot of our miniature games, as well as even sample decks for the different Magic formats. And so we'll have that stuff kind of on hand for customers for their ability to just, if they want to try something out before buying in, give it a go. Sit down and actually enjoy it.
So what's up with the pink numbers over there?
Yeah, it's like you read my mind.
Jeez,
So oftentimes we'll do raffles. So we take some products off the shelf, and for a small pittance of the price that it would actually cost somebody, they can actually purchase a raffle ticket and potentially win it. So and we do those raffles every so often.
I've been in 3 so far and haven't won, Chris.
I have.
That's the luck of the draw.
I know.
Oh, gee, I guess your Magic stinks, Tiberius.
I know.
You need to find a new place.
It's illogical.
Anyway, so that's also we have a new selection of sleeves. I'm really glad that we're talking right now, because we actually are carrying a couple different product lines that we hadn't had before. We were always with Ultra Pro and also with Dragon Shields in terms of sleeve options, as well as some cheaper options. But we recently brought in Katana sleeves, so we have a whole assortment of different color options for Katana, as well as Gamegenic. Gamegenic sleeves are, these are really good for just the casual players. We wouldn't recommend them for tournament players. I actually got a review on these. The person loved the sleeves, but they said the one problem with the Gamegenics is that they're slightly variant in size sometimes, so for tournament play, you might get, you wouldn't want to buy these for your tournament decks. Okay. But they shuffle really well. They have a great feel. If you're just a casual player, these are awesome, especially at the price point. Only $6.99 a pack.
Great.
Then over here we actually have some Gamegenic boxes, and these are also brand new as well.
Oh, you went right by the dice, dude? Really?
Oh,
yeah.
We'll go to that, man.
I'm sticking with the Gamegenic theme here. All right. I could do the squirrel thing. That would be appeal to some.
No, you always do the squirrel
folks.
thing. Underboss likes to do the squirrel thing.
I do like the squirrel thing. This dungeon is actually pretty incredible. I mean, the amount of decks that it can hold in the box, plus a slot for dice, And they've got some other really cool features on these things. I won't bore you with the details. You can just look it up on YouTube. But anyway, lots of options here. We actually have this case right here in particular from Magic Singles will always be the brand new set. I actually have a bunch that are going to go in to fill these empty spots that we just broke out. And then for other products, for other Magic Singles, we stick to this case right here, and that's all the previous sets. And so you're going to find hopefully almost everything you're looking for.
Yeah, a lot of things going on here.
Yeah.
And
there's
it-
a lot going on.
And not to skip the dice set.
And
Yeah,
the dice.
yeah.
Now we'll get back to the
Yeah,
dice.
the dice.
Yep, we got the dice. So right here we do Chessex and Okie Dokie dice.
They got metal
and,
dice too.
And we also have the
Ooh.
individual dice as well from Chessex. We even have these cool Arena Rex dice. These are kind of neat. Get a close up on that. So the insignia for the different factions of Arena Rex. So we've got a lot of like little bells and whistles and everything. And people love dice, obviously.
Absolutely.
I don't know why I saved it for last.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Oh, okay. 100 bucks.
Anyway.
So what are your new store hours?
So right now, and this may change. So as of right now, we're open Tuesday through Friday from 5 to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Friday goes a little bit later because of the FNM event. Saturdays from 10 to 5 and Sundays 12 to 5. We are looking, when we're able to get back to full gamut gaming, we are looking to extend those hours, especially on the weekends. We're entertaining the idea of going into the night for both Saturdays and Sundays, but that will be, remain to be determined and everything like that. So just keep watching our Facebook page, and we'll give you all the announcements, all the good stuff.
Excellent.
And so there's a lot happening, and we hope to see you soon.
Now, you also do a YouTube show or a
Yes.
streaming
Oh, yeah.
show.
Yeah,
Like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we haven't
Okay,
seen
sure.
that in a while.
Be
you
happy
know,
to.
so-
Well, we haven't filmed in a while because obviously because of
obviously,
COVID.
yeah.
But yes, we do a pop culture show. So you might find talk on TV shows, movies. There's someone here who's even guested on the show a few times.
Me.
So you have to go find those episodes.
I have.
And,
Yeah, the argument.
And then we also do a show that's geared to comics. But also in the future, we're going to start doing a gaming segment that's dedicated strictly to different types of games.
Hey, maybe
So
we'll
we're
be
going
guest
to have 3
stars.
segments. But if you look at Great Stories Inc. is our
Website?
YouTube channel.
Oh, YouTube channel. Great.
Yep.
Okay.
And you'll find us there. So if you put in even just a search for Great Stories Pop Culture Talk or Great Stories Comic Shop Talk, you'll find our videos. Subscribe, and we'd love to have you as a viewer. And,
Right. My
yeah.
kids love your show.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I watch that
That's
too,
awesome.
so yeah, I got them into it, which is kind of great. Now, where do you
We'll
get?
have to have Tiberius on then.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, where do you film?
Yeah.
Where do you film out of?
I'm sorry?
Where do you film when you do the show?
So we film right out of Uxbridge Public Access TV.
Oh wow!
It's
Which is
amazing.
really cool.
It's
So
really cool.
I don't actually have the access to the local channels. We pretty much did away with TV at our house for the most part. So we just do the streaming services.
Right.
But you can actually find it on local access TV. From what I understand, we've been picked up in some other communities too, around the country.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
that's one way of actually seeing us. And then the other way, of course, is YouTube. So we're also talking about creating a podcast from using just the audio.
Mhm.
So that's kind of in the works, and hopefully
that
we'll
was
have some
fun.
news on that soon.
Excellent.
And yeah, so it's a lot of fun, and we hope to resume filming maybe in the next month or two, and then it'll be a monthly type of thing that we do.
Excellent.
And hopefully we'll be able to do some additional segments and kind of, for people who really like the videos, maybe get some more content out there.
Excellent. Great. Well, thank you for your time, Chris. We really
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yes,
I
thank
mean,
you.
You're welcome.
very much.
Thank you very much for taking the time to come in and visit me and allow me to speak with you.
awesome. Have a great day.
You too.